right, we're live. What some people doing? I don't have too much stuff set aside for today.
I got something that's nunchuck worthy.
Ha. What's
It
that?
was inspired by Dave Blue Jacket 66. So I got my nice little blue package here.
I can't wait to see.
But he had a video a few weeks ago where he did some test issues.
Yeah.
So I went out and I bought this 67 Tony Oliva test disc.
Oh, nice. That's great. Yeah,
And
I don't have any of those.
They were made. Eventually, they were going to make buttons out of these. So they all came off of like a metal sheet.
Are those like those little caps? Let me check.
They're the discs, and Heritage remade them for modern players.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're almost the same when you look them
Now,
up
were
on
those
eBay.
those were never distributed, were they?
No, it's a test
Yeah,
issue.
just from, some test issues were actually distributed and some weren't, right?
Yeah.
Some were like distributed regionally or whatever. Like the Topps candy lids, for instance, they're called a test, but
Right.
they were distributed. They just it was very limited.
Right.
But then there's other things like the 72 Topps cloth test that were never distributed. They were testing them out. And the 76 Topps cloth too. A lot of people don't know. A lot of collectors don't know that they had those before the 77 cloth issue. So 72 was the first, and 76 had Duffy Dyer and Bob Apacadabra. What's his name? Abracadabra. You know who I'm talking
Who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but see, that's cool for me because I'm from Pittsburgh and I watch Duffy Dyer. So I had to get the Duffy Dyer. I have that one.
Okay.
But that was those were only nobody knows how they got out of Topps. They don't know if they were in a dumpster and somebody pulled them out or if employees took them home because they were just sampling them.
I think that happened a lot. Stuff went out the back door at Topps.
Yeah. Thank God. Otherwise, we wouldn't have it.
Right.
So, Jack, what are you buying nowadays?
What am I buying?
You have your eye on anything?
Well, obviously sets. I've been trying to get the whole Harmon Killebrew rundown. I think I'm just missing the rookie, 56 and 73, maybe.
For the basic run?
73, yep.
Yeah, probably one of the holy grails for Harmon Killebrew collectors. One of them. Well, I could think of two. The 55 doubleheader.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's like an alternative rookie, and the 62 Pittsburgh exhibit. I'm sure there's others, but those are two tough ones.
I know there's an exhibit. Is there a difference between the Pittsburgh exhibit and the normal exhibit?
I'll show you. The Pittsburgh exhibit looks like a big playing card.
Oh yeah. Huh. I think you did show me that satchel before.
Yeah. So these were issued at Kennywood Park in Pittsburgh, outside of Pittsburgh, and that's where I used to go. All of our school picnics were there. So it has kind of a hometown, meaning to me. In addition to being a super rare set.
Yeah.
Here's two of the three variations for the exhibits for Killebrew. There's another one where he's wearing a helmet, holding a bat.
Yeah.
I'm missing that one.
Yeah. Does he have any others? Yeah, like real rare cards that I'm not thinking of.
Franklin Milk. The Franklin Milk panel is pretty rare.
Oh yeah.
There's actually, I know a guy that has a full milk carton with that on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love to get those kinds of things.
Then there's those late '60s, like there's some stand-ups, not the '64, but there's another year of stand-ups.
Of stand-ups?
Yeah.
Who issued them?
Tops.
You mean those punch outs with just a head?
No, those are, what are those called? But
What are
yeah,
this?
you can get a buck.
What's the other stand-ups Tops did? I'm drawing a blank.
Let me take a look here.
I know for the Phillies and for Baltimore, Johnny Pro did stand-ups in '73 for Baltimore and '74 for Philadelphia.
Ricky's
And
saying
they did a 76ers set in '76.
67 stand up.
67 stand-up.
Yeah, here's the guy.
I know the football stand-ups. I can't see that too well. Man, I got to look into that. I'm not aware of those. Unless I'm drawing a blank,
Rick from
which
Big
often happens at my age.
is saying that home run derby is rare.
Oh, yeah, the home run derby, sure. Now, those are listed in 1959, but I believe they're actually from 1960. And, you know, you will routinely find those with auto, like Studebaker stamps, Packard and Studebaker on the back. I have an Ernie Banks like that, and it's so cool because it's from my hometown. It's from the main highway where our car dealers were, car dealerships.
Now, John.
And yeah, I coincidentally found it and I had to grab it. So they must have used those as promotions at car dealerships. But yeah, I do believe they're from 1960 and mislabeled as 59.
John, have you ever had a nice cold Killebrew?
Oh, what? An ice cold?
Ice cold Killebrew. I think Scott knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
They got a root beer here in Minnesota called Killebrew.
Oh, do they?
I think it might be the name, but they taste extra good.
Yeah, Ted Williams had a root beer. I have one of those bottles. I think they remade them. Reggie Jackson had candy bars.
Oh, yeah.
And they remade that. And Yogi Berra used to promote Yoo-Hoo. You can get a Yoo-Hoo bottle with Yogi Berra on it.
I think
those are some cool cards.
I think the Topps plaques were what we were thinking about with the little heads on them.
Yeah, Topps plaques. That's it.
Yeah. I had to look it up.
Yeah, but the 60, I think it was 67 or 68. Topps made the stand-up football, and they were just heads.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you know the year? Is it 67 or 68?
67, I believe.
Yeah. All these years start to run together after all these years of collecting, you know? And when you get into the E cards and the W cards, it's hard to remember them off the top of your head. All those different cutout cards and strip cards.
Yeah. You have to remember like W565 or is it 567 or is
Yeah. It's like I'll know them so well when like, you know, just got a new one for one of my sets or something, but talk to me a month later and I forget.
Mm-hmm. Here's I know you had a Wheaties book up on yours.
Is that a Wheaties stamp?
Channel? Yeah.
Yeah, I like those things. They're under the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were always real cheap too, so I bought them all up.
This is a transagram.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This is something.
Do you have any of the figures? Transagram figures?
Not any. No, I played with them too much.
They're so fragile. You know, they're so fragile, and they come off the base very easily.
They come apart. They're two pieces or three pieces with a glove.
Yeah, yeah.
And the head.
Yeah.
And I've got this.
Oh, the armor coin?
Chem Toy Super Bowl.
Oh, Chem Toy.
Yeah.
Oh man, hold on.
I don't think I've ever seen those before. Chem toy. Is it like a bouncy ball or?
Yeah, it's a super ball. It'll bounce
Yeah,
really
so
high.
let me tell you guys a story if you don't know. When I was a kid, man, these things were awesome. Here's the Clemente.
Oh,
And a lot of times these are cloudy. This one's just so clear.
And you never know where
So,
that little dot's going to be.
yeah. So the Chem toy, so the Super Balls, in the late 60s, early 70s, they got real popular. You could throw these things on the ground, they go 30 feet in the air. And so when I was little, I mean, I played with these things, and they were a big deal. And so, believe it or not, the Super Ball is where the term Super Bowl comes from.
really?
The guy that was in charge of making the championship, naming the championship game for the NFL, saw his kid bouncing around his Super Ball, and got the idea to name it the Super Bowl. Did you know that?
No, I never heard of that. Learn more on YouTube channels by accident than you do anywhere else on purpose. I think.
It's true. I learned so much. I don't know how much of it is true, but
It's
Now,
probably some truth to it.
John, I think I have something that might stump you. Maybe.
probably.
Here, let me. You know what these are? I don't know if you can see them very well.
Can you put yourself? Can you focus on yourself? I can't see it too well.
Let me try this.
Center field matches.
They're not.
For center fielder.
Yeah, I probably don't know what they are because they're not popping out at me.
Says
Well,
Cleveland Indians on it.
I know my dad knows all about them, but so we're gonna send these in for grading. Usually we don't grade things. We've only graded one thing before, but these are population one between PSA and SGC combined. There's only one graded of.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What is it?
I think it's 40s. I know this one is Larry Doby, I believe.
Hmm.
And then this one is I don't remember.
First baseman for Cleveland.
First baseman for Brooklyn Dodgers.
Oh, Brooklyn.
And then I think this one might be did Monty Irvin play in the outfield? He was an outfielder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is Monty Irvin, but this one's pretty beat up.
And you don't know what those are from?
I know my dad knows. I can go run up and ask him.
Really?
Oh, I'm curious now. I don't think I know. I don't think I know them.
I've never seen him before.
He stumped us, man.
Yeah.
We're getting stumped by a 15-year-old. That's good to see, actually.
Yeah.
I'm still admiring my shoeless Joe here.
Yeah, that's a great item. I saw your Clemente bazooka on Facebook. That's really nice.
Oh, did you?
PSA 9?
Yeah, I can't wait to get that baby. I've been wanting that particular one for a long time. It's like it's one of the two favorite poses of his bazooka cards to me. The other one I already have. It's one where he's kind of throwing from the side. I really like that one too. But that was the first one I got. So now I get to add this one.
So they're 1950 to 1955 Carnival candy cards.
Carnival candy, man, you stumped me.
I
learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Cool. That's cool. Are they Indians? All Indians?
This one is a New York Giant.
Oh, okay.
And the other one is that Gil Hodges at first base.
Oh, it could be. This one's a Cleveland Indians center field. Oh.
I wonder if that company was just in New York and Cleveland. Yeah. You know, like the Cons are like that. They sold them in just a few cities where they were.
Yeah, it could be. For complete major.
A lot of the old cards, the old rare cards like Willard Chocolate, Oxford Confectionery, those are regional issues. What Oxford was that in Pennsylvania or Willard Chocolate? One of them was in, I think, Eastern PA, and I think they were just distributed around that area, where they sold their candy. I don't think they were national.
I think this was a Minnesota only issue from Trade Block Game. Harmon Killebrew. Get the
Isn't there?
Yeah,
1965.
I don't think I know that one either.
Isn't there a only Minnesota? It's like the Gold Flower. Does that sound right? Gold Mill.
Are you thinking a gold medal flower?
Gold Medal Flower.
Yeah,
Those are more of a. They're more of a
Midwest.
postcard size photo, I believe.
Yep.
But this had the whole Twins team set, plus pictures of bobbleheads and programs, and it's a pretty unusual set.
I'll tell you, growing up in Pittsburgh, there was the regional issues for the Pirates was just unlimited. Just unlimited. I mean, you could have a whole collection of just those items. I'm still finding new ones. I have a lot. When you talk about team issued cards, East Hills cards, what is this one? IDL Drugstores Clemente here. I don't know if you ever saw this. These are pretty scarce.
Those are nice.
Yeah, they're oversized. And then there was what's that other one? This is IDL.
ADK.
Oh, Griner Tires,
Okay.
which just all local stuff. And there was a Ford dealership when they won the World Series that did these big lithographs. I have the complete set of that in an envelope from the Ford dealer. They're just unlimited, really.
You had that nice Jim Brown on your Facebook page too.
Man, you're giving away all my future videos there, Scott.
Sneak previews.
That Jim Brown is, I've been looking for that for years.
I didn't say what it was. I just said it was a nice Jim Brown.
Yeah, it's, I think that along with the rookie and the cons cards are probably, the issues that are most sought of him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a holy grail card of mine. I learned about that card probably back in 2014, and I've been looking for it that long. That's how long I've waited to get one, because it's not that easy to find them in nice shape.
I don't think I've ever seen it before.
You haven't?
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it was that's a regional issue. Yeah.
I can't speak on that.
I can't see the comments. I'm too blind. I'm on my phone. They're too small.
Well, that's what.
I always have Lou Rock read them to me when we're online.
It says us old guys are half blind. Haha.
Right.
You just
Blind in one eye, can't see out the other.
Yeah, it's terrible. You can see far. You just can't see 2 feet in front of you, 2 inches in front of you. You can get LASIK for that. You can do, I guess, one or the other, but I don't know. It's always scared me, the idea that putting a laser beam in your eyeball, and of course you have to sign a waiver saying if you go blind, it's you accept that.
THA Carton Story said that's the benefit of oversized cards.
Absolutely, I'm totally into oversized cards now. I appreciate them so much more now.
I remember you posted a Clemente and an Aaron from this.
Yes, sir. Here.
What is that?
It's a stadium card.
Oh.
From about 1970.
Yeah, stadium posters, cards, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess they're called stadium cards. I got the Lou Brock too.
It's got mine has a little sticker on the back.
Yeah, mine does too. Yeah, these are still in their original packaging.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hank Aaron. That's what my sticker looks like.
Yeah. How come How come they're like in unusual places?
I don't
Yours is
know.
way off
The
to the
Clemente
side.
is so
Way off to
awesome,
the
though.
side.
You know, it's got the little
Mini's nice.
circle,
That's nice. A little inset.
action, and circle. You know, it's like the 1963 cards.
Yeah. Oh, my hair.
It's nice to have hair, Jack.
Jack, you collect football cards since you're a football player?
Yeah. Just a little bit. I'm not huge. Just I've got one card set aside. I'm kind of all over the place right now.
Let me guess. Mick Tigglehoff.
No, he's upstairs. He's in the good room. Jim Marshall.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Got Alan Page.
Chief Justice.
Yep. And Carl Eller. Purple Fever.
Yep.
And I've got this really, really nice looking John Mackey.
What year was their first Super Bowl?
The Vikings.
Yeah.
They've never won one, but
It was number 4. They lost to the.
Number 4?
Chiefs. Yeah, they lost to the Chiefs.
Oh, they were in Super Bowl 4?
no, they've lost 4. They've lost 4.
But I think they were in Super Bowl.
I thought
4
their first
too.
Super Bowl was Super Bowl 9. I thought.
That was Pittsburgh's first one, I believe.
Yeah, it was against Minnesota.
Yeah.
They
the Viking-
held Minnesota to something like 17 total yards in that Super Bowl.
Oh,
Yeah. They
this is Bobby Lane rookie card.
Yes. I got one of those over here.
Pretty beat, but
I don't need to show it because you showed yours. That's one of the greatest football cards ever made.
yes.
And
Yeah, the
and it's awesome because it says the blonde bomber on it, right?
Blonde Bomber.
I love those cards that give the nicknames. They're great.
Yeah, the Vikings were the last team to win the NFL championship before they merged.
Oh,
So Jack, Bobby Lane wasn't a Viking. He's the odd man out.
Well, I don't know why I like Bobby Lane. It's probably because of his nickname, or yeah, I guess it was kind of like my first Hall of Fame football card that I had was like a 1955, maybe. I don't remember. But
That's a cool
Well, you
card.
know, so Bobby Lane is one of the reasons that Lenny Dawson ended up in Kansas City
really,
because Pittsburgh had him, and they brought Bobby Lane in to replace him and sent him to Cleveland. He went to Cleveland, and they let him go too, and he ended up in Kansas City. And I don't know what those two teams weren't seeing because they both were terrible teams at the time. You know, the Steelers, they drafted Johnny Unitas and cut him, and then they had Lenny Dawson and let him go. So they didn't have a very good track record.
yeah,
But Bobby Lane was a good quarterback.
Hall of Fame. And then I've got a couple more. I've got a couple boxes from when my dad used to collect. I've got a stack of them somewhere of all Hall of Famers. I sent to Bob Greasy for a TTM.
I saw
He's a
you
good
had
quarterback.
had a Viking in your TTM pile.
Oh, Scott Studwell. The stud.
Yeah.
Yep.
He is a good player.
There's a McTinglehoff for you. I don't know what year this is. I just like it. I just like McTinglehoff.
Bud Grant said he is the best football player he ever played for.
Oh, that's what is that? 69?
Yeah.
This might be a rookie, is it? I think it is.
Oh, is it?
This rookie card.
Wait. I think his rookie was before that, but I don't remember the year. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
And
Thought it was before that.
card, I know that. Jack Youngblood. I just like the name.
Jack Youngblood, he was good. Now, what was his brother's name?
Is it Jim?
Was
Jack
it
and
Jim?
Did he?
Yeah, I always get it wrong. Yeah, Jim. And Jack was a defensive end, and Jim was a linebacker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Youngblood brothers. They were pretty good.
Now, tell me if you know any of these names. John Morris, center for the Patriots.
I know the name. I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
Who else? You're gonna give me centers.
Dave Wilcox. Dave Wilcox.
I don't know
Linebacker
him.
for the 49ers.
Yeah. Linebacker.
Yeah.
John Haddle. HAD.
Oh yeah, John Haddle, quarterback.
Yep. Chargers. Erich Barnes, corner.
For the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah. And
Look at Scott.
Chris Hanberger.
Oh, Chris. Yeah, good linebacker for the Redskins.
Yep. Small. I got some Terry Bradshaws for you, John.
There you go. Now we're talking. I got a Terry Bradshaw signed jersey on my wall. I always stare at.
I got a Roger Staubach rookie card. Kind of his rookie card. It's like the pro action.
Roger the Dodger. Great quarterback.
Hail Mary against the Vikings.
Couldn't beat the Steelers though.
But now they can.
Roger could come back now and beat the Steelers.
Oh yeah.
He's probably in his 70s. He could beat the Steelers now. He couldn't have beat them then.
That was a Super Bowl. Super Bowl that Jackie Smith dropped that ball.
Yeah, but they make a big deal about that. But that was early on. Did you see the final score of that Super Bowl?
It was like 3 points, wasn't it?
Well, you know what? They came back at the very end. Like the Steelers were in a prevent. They even got an onside kick. So they made a run at the end. But
yeah,
I don't think, they had a big lead before they went into the prevent because, that prevent at the end of the game always gives up points. So I think, if they scored that touchdown, they would have been playing differently. But that was earlier on. And the Steelers were winning that game handily. Go back and watch it. You can't pin the whole game on that one play like so many people do.
Oh no. Yeah. But that was one of the best defenses of ever, that Steeler defense.
Yeah, there have you could argue for single season defenses, best single season defenses, right? You could argue for a lot. There was the Rams one year in the mid 70s was a fantastic defense. Of course, the Ravens that one year were insanely good. The Bears in '85, but there's no defense over a period of time, over a decade, that you dominated like they did.
Yeah.
Right.
In 1976, Bradshaw got hurt, and they called on the defense. Chuck Noll just basically handed off to Franco and Rocky and told the defense, you have to win. And in a 9-game stretch, well, first of all, Rocky and Franco both got 1,000 yards that year, both of them. But in a 9-game stretch, that defense gave up a total of 29 points and pitched 5 shutouts. That's how dominant they were. And the Steelers went to the championship game, but in the first playoff game, which they destroyed, I think it was the Colts. They destroyed them, and they went up against the Raiders in the championship, and both Rocky and Franco got hurt, and they didn't have a running game, and they ended up losing that game.
Was Frenchie gone by then? That's one of my favorite football names, Frenchie Fuqua.
Yeah, Frenchie was gone, and they had a young running back, Reggie Harrison, and he was the only other running back on the roster. So he was that's who they had to run. Yeah, Frenchie was gone. Frenchie was a good runner. He rushed for over 200 yards on a Monday night football game.
The Vikings ended up getting the old Steelers coach, right? Who was the old coach?
The Vikings?
Yeah. He's a couple coaches ago. They became the defensive coordinator for the Vikings right now.
Right now?
Yeah.
Oh, Flores?
Yeah, Flores.
Oh. Was he a coach with the Steelers? I don't even know.
Or was he Dolphins?
He was a head coach with the Dolphins.
Oh, maybe.
I think he was an assistant for Belichick.
Yeah, I don't think he ever was the coach for the Steelers.
I thought he was. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Steelers have a former Viking coach though, Tomlinson or
Oh,
Tomlin, yeah. Wasn't he
Tomlin.
Was he a player for the Vikings too?
I'm not sure. I know he was a defensive coordinator, I think.
Yeah, so he was a wide receiver though when he played, which is funny. He became a defensive coordinator, but he was given the advice that the way to get to a head coaching job was to become a defensive coordinator, and so he went that route, and it worked.
So you guys happy with him? You want a couple
With Tomlin?
Yeah.
Me? No, I don't think he's a good coach at all.
Okay.
better than our defensive coordinator this year.
I don't know. 3 playoff games in 11 years. Is that good? Is that a Hall of Fame coach? Because you win 60% of your games every year. I don't know. 60 or 70. I don't know. And that one year where we went 11-0 and lost every single game and the first playoff game. I mean,
oh
yeah, three playoff game wins in 11 years. I think that says enough.
Do you get the mini games, Jack?
I've never been to a Vikings game. Been to a couple Twins games. Never been to. I want to go to a Vikings game sometime, but mostly Twins games.
It's so expensive nowadays.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? I don't get to go to any games because I moved out of Pittsburgh. I just minor league games. I have minor league hockey and minor league baseball.
Sometimes those are just as fun.
Yeah, I mean they're fun. It's just it's way more fun when you know the players' names though. But I saw this guy. I went to the River Dogs a couple years ago, and there was a guy named Ramirez. He was a pitcher, and man, he threw. I think it was a one-hitter. And I started a standing ovation for him in the crowd because I don't think anybody else realized he just threw a one-hitter. And I stood up and started clapping, and little by little, the whole stands gave him a round of applause. And he was on the opposing team, but he threw a hell of a game. Oh man,
yeah,
it was nice.
That's fun to watch.
I was watching for him to come up. I don't know if he made it to the pros, but he looked good.
Well,
I remember his name.
Here's my football team. Recognize that guy?
Oh
man, I can't see.
Bart Starr.
Oh yeah.
What is that?
61 Fleer wallet card. They come out of a magazine.
Oh, I don't know that card.
And that's what the backs look like.
Do you have his Lake to Lake?
No, I don't. Those are expensive.
Yeah. Cool.
The Lake. I think you have the Hank Aaron, don't you, John?
The Lake to Lake, yeah. I like that set. I want the Bart Starr. It's such a cool looking card, with him like this. I have who do I have? I have Forrest Gregg. I have Paul Hornung, and I have Jim Taylor. There's a DB in that set I want. Who is he? Who's the DB in that set? Yeah, is it Herb Adderley? Yeah, probably. It's probably, yeah, it must be.
John, you might like this. I just pulled this out just for you. Let's see if you can get who this is. You can see it.
Is that Bob Skinner?
Yep. Got it. Autographed.
Bob Skinner, you can't. Yeah. I mean, I know those old Pirates.
He's on a nice combo card from '63 with Clemente.
Oh
yeah. What position did he play, Jack?
He was a Infield. Shortstop.
We're at shortstop. No, he was a left fielder.
Close.
You just need to move back a little. Yeah, so they had Bob Skinner in left, the Quail, Bill Verdon in right, phenomenal fielder, and Clemente. In center, and Clemente in right. And let's see. At that time, back then, they had. I'll go with Don Clendenin at first. We had Dick Stewart, Don Clendenin, then after him. Bill Mazeroski, of course, at short. At second. Dick Grote at short. Frank Thomas at third, and then who else played third? It was a Don Hoke after Frank Thomas, I think. Then we had Ducky. Dick Schofield was another shortstop. After him was Gene Alley. After him was Shacky Hernandez.
Dave Cash
kind of played with him too, and then Frank Tavares, who led the league in steals in 1977. One of the first games I went to, it might have been the very first game I went to. I watched him steal second and subsequently third on two different pitches. He was fun to watch steal bases. And then after him, we had another guy that led the league in steals. You young guys, you probably don't know what base stealing is. They don't do it anymore. But in the old days, they used to steal bases. I'm just kidding. Omar Marino, the Antelope. And he led in, I want to say, 79. I think he led the league in 79. I think.
John.
Well, one thing about Rod Carew, not a lot of people know, is one season he stole home 7 times.
Yep.
Isn't he the all-time leader at stealing home?
No. I think there's several other guys that stole. Ty Cobb.
I thought Jackie Robinson was, but for some reason I thought Rod Carew broke it.
Might be
Maybe
Ty
not.
Cobb.
I'd
have to look it up.
It's not Jackie? Yeah, I got to look that up now. Somebody knows. It's putting it in the comments right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ty Cobb held that at one time, but I could swear Jackie broke it. But for some reason, I thought maybe it was a single season record that Carew has.
That could be 7 times. I remember the year that he was doing it. He stole home 7 times.
You know how hard it is to steal home?
It's not easy.
I mean, you got to have a little luck on your side to steal home, or good timing.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be great. Luis Arraez being coached by Rod Carew. He was doing so well, and then he got traded for the Marlins.
That's what sucks about the modern game is, there used to be at least most of your team stayed together, like most of your childhood or most of an era. Nowadays, it's like nobody stays together. It's the team's constantly changing, and as soon as you get to loving somebody, they're gone. Especially when you're a Pirate fan.
Arraez hardly even had a cup of tea, and he was gone.
Oh yeah, I think personally, that we should have traded Byron Buxton if we were gonna make that trade, because Byron, oh my gosh, I can't watch him play anymore. He gets hurt every other hit.
He's going to be the DH this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He'll still find a way to get hurt. Bruised elbow, out for 12 weeks.
It's pretty crazy.
A lot of players have had that problem, and I mean, you can't fault them. Some people just are, I don't know, either injury prone or have bad luck. You remember Fragile Freddie Taylor? A phenomenal running back, but he never finished the season.
This is the Rod Carew. That's that Puerto Rico ESO coin from 72.
I saw a couple of those at the antique shop we were talking about.
Okay.
I mean,
You
Were
guys
they
frequent an
charging?
antique shop that sells cards?
Yep.
Nice. I
I
wish
go
I
there.
had one of those.
Or Scott goes there. What, you went there a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I was there a couple weeks ago.
Looks like Rod Carew has the modern day record, expansion or live ball era. Several in Cobb era had more. Steele's home.
There you go. I thought he had the record. I know you always have to qualify the modern day record, right?
Yeah.
It's like those guys in the 1800s. They had Hugh Duffy one year. What did he bat? Single season. What did he bat? 468 or something.
But they were pitching underhand.
Well, what was it? They had a rule where they were not pitching underhand.
No, at one point there was
At one point, yeah, but not when he did that.
Way back.
there was a rule where you could. I'm pretty sure it went into late 1800s where you could tell the pitcher if you wanted it high or low.
Yeah. In the early days of baseball, yeah, sure. But I'm talking, he did this in like the late 1880s or 1890s.
Back when Hannes Wagner was young.
But there was a rule change, and they had to like kind of go back and take it out. What am I thinking? Did they count walks as a hit?
Oh,
Something
yeah.
like that.
It was for 1 year. I think.
Yeah.
It was 19. I don't remember.
I think they had to go back and adjust their batting averages for that because they all had these insane batting averages. So, who set the home run record, the single season home run record back then?
Home run Baker, right?
No, back before that. No, he
Gosh.
didn't set any home run record. Home run Baker. He led the league in home runs. I believe 4 straight years.
Oh, Cap Anson.
Nope.
Pud
In
Gallagher.
Anson's era.
Ned Williamson.
Yeah.
He played in I believe he played in a ballpark, his home ballpark, at a really short left field or something.
Wow.
And he died young. But he held the record, the single season home run record, in all of baseball until Babe Ruth broke it in 1919.
Really?
And then in the, I believe it was the American League record was held by Sock Siebold, I believe, until Babe Ruth broke that.
How many did Gabby Kravitz hit in a season?
He was a beast. He hit a lot in the early 1900s. He just didn't hold those records. But he was probably the best early home run hitter when you're talking early 1900s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot of, for that era, for the dead ball era, he had a lot of home runs. But when you lead the league like 4 years in a row, you get a nickname home run.
Yep.
I always like Home Run Baker. I love to collect his cards.
Yeah, I think.
Now there was a home run hitter. I think he led the league 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. Later on, and he was basically the Babe Ruth of the National League, and people don't know him. And there were only 3 players born before 1900 that amassed 200 home runs: Babe Ruth, Rogers Hornsby, and this guy. You know who I'm talking about?
So go ahead. It was a Williams. I can't remember if it was Ken or Cy.
Cy. Yep. Cy Williams. And he was also supposedly a great fielder as well. Cy Williams, I don't know why he doesn't get more love. One of the cards I'm looking for, and I just never wanted to pay the money for it. Not that it's super expensive, but it's not cheap. Just because, I don't know, I just don't feel like nobody knows him, and I don't feel like I should have to pay that much for it. But the Oxford Confectionery. Because I watched one. I must have watched it for 3 years. The guy never dropped the price $1 for 3 years. If he had like made one of those offers, I would have probably pulled the trigger.
Hey, Jack, do you ever hear this guy? Johnny Blanchard?
Johnny Blanchard.
Blanchard?
Oh, Johnny Blanchard.
He was the first major leaguer from Minneapolis, I believe.
Really? What team do you play?
He played for the Yankees, backup catcher, but he had a liquor store in Golden Valley. This is one of his souvenir glasses from the liquor store. He's got all the signatures like Maris, Mantle, Ford on the glass.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
And he does have a tie to the Pirates. You know what that is, John?
No, I don't.
He's the guy that called the pitch that Bill Mazeroski hit over the fence.
Oh. I didn't realize he was catching, and I know Yogi Berra was in left field, but I didn't realize he was catching.
Yeah.
And I watched that. It was really cool. When my dad watched that when he was in high school, I think he was in the 11th grade, and he would always tell me the story that they watched it, the end of it, and he saw that home run in the gymnasium. At the end of the day, they all stayed in school to watch the game because it was still going on. And so one Thanksgiving, he was at the house, and I pulled it up on YouTube, one of the beauties of YouTube, and I sat down and watched the 1960 series with my dad. And I mean, years ago, you couldn't do something like that. And it was pretty amazing. And then the next holiday, we watched the Super Bowl against the Vikings, Super Bowl IX. Of course, he watched these live at one time. So that was, I was so little when the first Super Bowl was on, and I was running around and playing with my friends and stuff. I remember being at a Super Bowl party for it, because in Pittsburgh, when you grew up in the 70s, it was just known that you were going to a Super Bowl party every year, and somebody would host a Super Bowl party. It was a big deal. And everybody had these banners that said Steeler Country. Yeah, it was a big deal. And so I went to 4 Super Bowl parties back then.
I bet that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, but that first Super Bowl, I was just too little to remember anything about it. I didn't even know, I couldn't even follow football or anything. But I remember the latter two. The one against the Rams in 1980. That's the one I remember the best. The first two I don't really. I watched them. I just don't remember.
I actually saw Vince Ferragamo play in a game up in Winnipeg when he went up to CFL after the NFL.
I'll tell you what, when he filled in for Pat Hayden and he played in that Super Bowl, he played well. The Steelers were losing that game. Terry Bradshaw threw 2 bomb passes to really blow that game wide open. But he played well when he filled in. And for a rookie quarterback who didn't start to come in and play like that, it was, good for him.
Yeah.
Hey, John.
Go ahead, Jack.
John, do you know who Red Munger is?
I know the name. I don't know much about him.
So I know he played for the Pirates in 57 through 50-something. I don't remember. But I actually met his grandson on Facebook. And so he was like, if you have any cards of my granddad, I'd love to buy it off you. So
yeah. I
had one card of him, 51 Bowman, and he was like, oh, we couldn't strike a deal on the price because we didn't have the same, I don't know, it was like Venmo and whatever. So he ended up sending me a signed card of his grandpa for his Red Munger. And
yeah.
He sent me that in a Bob Ascarante card. And I'm
okay.
I'm sending that Red Munger's. It's a 1957 team card.
Are you sure it's 57? I think he was earlier than that. No?
No, it's a 57.
It is? Okay.
And so I sent that off to go get signed by Elroy Face. And I'm going to try to get as many Pirates from 57 as I can.
Yeah, I was I was out one night and I ran into Elroy Face's ex-son-in-law. He was telling me all about him. Elroy Face is supposed to be a really nice guy and a generous signer.
Yeah. Yep. Signs off for free.
You
Now
had a couple.
he's second on the all-time list for most consecutive wins.
Really?
Do you know that? Only behind Carl Hubble.
Huh. Oh, I think my dad did tell me that.
Yeah, it's Carl Hubble had 24.
Wow.
I think Elroy had 22.
Hmm.
And then there are like three guys tied at 21. Garrett Cole's one of them.
Garrett Cole.
Yeah. Yeah, he had like 21 in a row. There's three guys. I'm drawing a blank on all of them. Of course, Rube Marquard, he won 19 in a row in a single season.
Wow.
And I think they later credited him with an additional one because there's some rule changes. So I know they added one to him, and he might be at 20.
Jeez. That's
But yeah, Elroy Face second on that list.
He was
24 games in a row is insane.
Yeah.
But Elroy Face now, the difference is Carl Hubble was a starter. Elroy Face was basically a closer.
Yep.
In the early days where I don't think they called them closers. But my dad would always joke. He would always say that he would come in, he would give up the go-ahead run, then he would come back and win it, or the tying run, whatever.
Wasn't he 18-1 one year as a reliever?
Yeah, I don't know, but he was a pretty amazing closer.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna send to.
And he was a small guy. I think he only threw like 2 pitches.
Sure. Fastball and changeup.
Well, that's what Harvey Haddix did. So when Harvey Haddix threw the 12 perfect innings, he basically had a fastball and a curveball. And in the 1990s, the Braves, who he did that against, the Braves admitted to stealing the signs. They had a guy in the dugout who would put a towel up if it was a curveball, and he wouldn't put it up if it was a fastball. So imagine how insane that was.
Yeah. Wow.
How much in the zone he must have been. For the Braves, we're talking Hank Aaron, Eddie Matthews, Joe Adcock, all those guys. To know what pitch was coming, and he still threw 12 perfect innings. Now, they said, in all fairness, there was one guy that did not refuse to take the signs, and that was Hank Aaron.
Oh. Well, I mean, still Eddie Matthews. Like.
Joe Adcock was pretty good power hitter too.
Yeah, Joe Adcock. I think he's underappreciated, man. I've always collected his cards since I was little.
Yeah, favorite is a 63 Flair.
Yeah. My favorite, I don't know. He has some good ones. And I have the spick and span of him. I like his 57 for some reason. I really like his 57. And I have his 56 up on my wall, actually, because I think that's a pretty cool card. Of course, there aren't too many 56s I don't like.
I have the 53
Yep.
Johnson cookies, too.
Yeah. I think I have that one as well. I'm not sure if it's a 53. I have a Johnson cookies, though.
Yeah.
In fact, I have it right here. Now I'm curious because I think I picked that up recently.
Yeah, they're 3 different sets and they're all 3 different sizes.
Yeah, I like the 54s. I like that size. I think they look pretty cool. But the thing is the 54 Aaron is, the most expensive because everybody freaking loves a rookie card. But the 55 of his, if I can find it, is so much better looking. And it's here's the 55 Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the 54 Spawn. So you got the 2 different sizes there. And here's my Joe Adcock.
That's 54.
Yeah, this is 54. It's a great card. Nice sharp one too. Now, where's my Hank Aaron? Where you at, Hank? You know what this is?
Yeah,
This is Bobby Dewar.
1950 nut, American nut and
You got it.
chocolate.
Not everybody knows that. All right, how about this one? I'm gonna cover up the label.
Yoo-hoo.
Yoo-hoo. All right, how about this one?
That's Mother's Cookies.
Yep. You know this guy?
Is that the guy the from the Negro Leagues?
Yep.
What is his name?
Piper Davis?
I've heard of him. I've had his autographed card before.
You know his claim to fame?
No.
He mentored Willie Mays when Willie Mays was a young guy. He brought him on the team, and Willie Mays
Okay.
credited him for his success. Took him
Okay.
under his wing, took care of him.
Have you ever heard the rumors that Joe Jackson helped Ted Williams learn to hit in the major leagues?
Uh-uh.
I've never heard.
I was just wondering. That's
Oh,
just
here's
things you hear over the years.
Here's three great Hank Aarons. You got the Lake,
Yeah,
and you
it's a
got
great
the
card.
55 Johnson Cookies.
I love
His
it.
best looking one, in my opinion.
That's a nice
I
looking
was-
card.
I would always buy the best looking cards, the cards I like the most. I honestly didn't care if they were a rookie card or not. Of course, when I started collecting, that wasn't even a thing. And the Hires Root Beer.
That's nice too.
Oh, I like those cards.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pay up for rookie cards now a little bit, but I never used to. I could have all their other cards for the same price as the one rookie card.
Yeah,
That's insane. I mean, that's pretty much it too. You can have like all their other cards instead.
Look at this.
nice Wheaties card. Is that graded?
No, it's in a front.
Okay,
It's
that looks nice.
Zeke Benura.
Oh, Zeke Benura, yeah.
I know
He was Roger Maris's coach with the Fargo Moorhead Twins.
really.
Is that right?
Yeah,
And then this
Where
is,
you get this in? Well, local team, I guess.
Fargo. I went to school in Fargo.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Did you like the movie?
and I haven't really watched the whole thing. It was actually
I
filmed,
haven't either.
it was actually filmed by my hometown. My brother's driving home one night in the fog, and all of a sudden there's Paul Bunyan in Babe the Blue Ox sitting in the field beside the
Yeah.
road.
I'm putting my Clemente Chemboy away because I'm freaking out that it's gonna roll off of here or something.
hey Scott, remember when I was telling you about that after you did the cabinet card?
Yeah, Turkey Red.
No, your cabinet card of
Oh yeah,
remember?
yep,
And I was telling you about my the picture that I have.
yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab that really quick.
Okay,
You gotta
that'll be
entertain-
nice.
You got entertain the live by yourself.
Yeah, I think that's the one that I showed in one of my videos. My great grandfather's second from the left in the back row. Jack's gonna go get a family. This is my great grandfather's baseball team in around 1890.
No way.
Yeah, he's second from the left in the back row with the suspenders.
That's an original photo from 1890.
Yep,
Holy cow.
it's got their names on the back and everything.
That's
You can't see it in
insane
the
that
video.
you have that.
Mine's not as
I have an aunt that lived to be 100, and she kept all the old family photos.
wow.
So it's,
Man, you guys are lucky. My family wasn't even here yet.
This is I believe these are I think it's my great uncle, and maybe both my great uncles. I don't remember, but they're playing for Fergus Falls.
Nice. All right, I don't have any ancestry photos to show because I don't. But I do have one cool photo to show if you haven't seen it.
Oh, I got gone.
I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but this is my baby picture with my mom, and this is Nellie King signing my stroller there, right after Doc Ellis signed it.
Wow.
Doc Ellis is like dressed to the nines, man. But
He was-
Doc Ellis, he was a rookie, and they had this parade, and the Pirates, even up until when I was still living there, they would always bring the players around for community, outreach and to promote the team. And so they would bring, and it's always the rookies they make come, right?
Okay.
So Doc Ellis was a rookie, and he came to the parade to promote the Pirates.
Have you seen the Doc Ellis documentary?
No. Yes, I did.
Yeah, the documentary.
No.
That was good. That was yeah, I did.
Interesting.
I think I checked out Doc Ellis, the no hitter on LSD. That's pretty. That's pretty.
Yeah, and then there was he tells a story. The Big Red Machine used to they were so good. And so one day he just decided he was going to bean like the first four batters. And he did. He came out and beaned like the first four batters, and they yanked him. He was a piece of work.
Then he turned his life around and helped drug addicts, right? I think that's
Is that right? I don't know much about his later life. I know he had a pretty long career because he went after he left the Pirates. He played for the Rangers, the Yankees, probably more teams. Those are the two I remember him with, if I'm not mistaken. I think in 70. I think it's 79 cards with the Rangers, right? I think
that sounds right.
We had another great Pittsburgh Pirate go to the Rangers for a while. Actually, did we have two? Well, Al Oliver, and did Richie Zisk? I think Richie Zisk played there too. And Omar Marino, he played for the Yankees after he left the Pirates.
Don Clendenin had a nice year with the Mets in '69.
Sure did. I don't know if he had a nice year, but he had a nice World Series.
Yeah.
Because he started out that year with the Expos, right?
I think so. There's that '69 card where he's either with the Expos or the Mets, isn't that?
He has two different cards in '69. But I don't think it was no, one was with the Expos, but I don't think it was the Mets. I think, didn't they get him like at the very end of the season? I think his other card was with a different team, but I'm drawing a blank on it.
Oh yeah, his two cards.
It might be. Yeah, I know he got traded late. It might be with the Mets, but
I've got both of them. I don't know. They're my set.
I know one's with the Expos.
Yep. I don't remember who.
Yeah, and then to become the MVP of the World Series with a miracle.
Played Dalrymple had two different cards too.
And Tommy Agee, he had a nice World Series defensively. He made two really great catches in that World Series, didn't he?
Yeah. After he retired, he lived in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for quite a few years.
Who, Tommy Agee?
No, Don Clendenin.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I was always a fan of collecting his stuff. I have all his cards. Got a Cons or two. And Bob Veal, too. Real fast pitcher. My dad used to tell me stories about Bob Veal, so I was always fascinated. Bought up all his cards. And Matty Alou, too, when he was with the Pirates.
All the Alous.
He won a batting title.
Yeah.
What year did he win? 68?
67, I believe.
67.
I have the answer right here. No, that's not it. I think it might have been six. He was third in this one.
Oh yeah.
Thought it was 68, maybe 69.
Yeah,
I think it was 68, but I'm not positive.
that's an OPG.
Oh, you want to see a cool 68? So I found out that this card's actually a Milton Bradley.
Oh wow.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
I showed John this. Here you go. Milton Bradley. Because we bought this card. I bought this card $80 at a card show. The guy was, and then we posted on Facebook. And we're like, oh, look at this crazy deal we got. And someone was like, oh, that's a sweet Milton Bradley, 1968 Milton Bradley. I have no idea what Milton Bradley is.
Way
That's
harder
awesome.
to find. Way harder to find.
There's not too much of a price difference.
There isn't, and there isn't. There kind of should be, but I don't know because they look pretty much identical, right?
Yeah. Well, there's like a white line, and then the back's yellow
Yeah.
instead of orange. Rick at Vintage Oddball Card said, "Don't get John started on
On what?
Vale."
Bob Veal.
Veal?
Oh, Bob Veal. No, Rick. You need to get me started on Johnny Ray. So I have a Johnny Ray game used bat behind me, and I believe it's a card. The bat, it has the two yellow stripes you see in his rookie card. So I don't know when exactly it's from, but I'm probably the only one that wanted Johnny Ray's game used back. But I loved him. He was awesome. Runner up for Rookie of the Year behind Steve Sachs, but I think Johnny Ray was I think he was better. Steve Sachs was solid. Don't get me wrong. Steve Sachs was solid, but Johnny Ray, he was a good hitter. I watched him a lot.
Second baseman I remember the most from Pirates was Dave Cash.
Dave Cash, yep.
Was he? Oh no.
Now here's an interesting tidbit. You bring up Dave Cash, so he came up as a second baseman, I think. Yeah, he came up as a second baseman, and in 1971 when they fielded the first all black lineup, one of the reasons that happened was because Richie Hebner was hurt, and Dave Cash filled in for him at third, and then Gene Alley was hurt. And Jackie Hernandez filled in for him at short.
That's a former twin, Jackie Hernandez.
Yeah. So what's interesting in the and Jack, you just gave one of these away. You gave that away, that Lou Brock O-Pee-Chee?
Oh, yep.
Okay. So did you ever notice who's behind him?
No, I didn't.
So everybody assumes it's Frank Taveras because Frank Taveras played in 1976. He was the shortstop for the Pirates. However, if you look, it's number 2. That's Jackie Hernandez. But Jackie Hernandez hadn't played since like 1973. So that photo used for Lou Brock in the 76 card is a couple years old.
Wow. I had no idea. I think
Yep.
that's Lou Rock. Or no. It's Pepino Man's now.
Oh, did he win that? Good for him. I love that card. That 76 Lou Brock is one of my favorite all-time cards. I love it. Because it's just him ready to steal a base, or having just stole one.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's standing there like on second, leading off like with some swagger,
Yeah. Just got these. The redback open packs.
Oh yeah, nice. I have those
Cool.
in a display on my wall.
I just thought of these because Legends Never Die.
Yep.
He posted one of these, but it was unopened, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I don't have an unopened one. He got when we were at the National, he was hitting us up for our opinions, and man, I'm like, you got to pull the trigger on that. He had like an unopened, what was it, an unopened Redman card? I'd never even seen one before.
Hmm.
Wow, that's good.
And then my man Rick, he found us. It's funny because when I was at the National, I'm like, well, I'm not going to take that much cash. I'll just get money out, right? Like, well, when you get there, the internet doesn't work, so you can't use PayPal because that's how most people would pay for things. So the internet didn't work. I couldn't use PayPal, and they were charging you like $26 to take money out of the ATM. And I was like, no way. So Rick found the envelopes for the 1910 Sporting Life. And he's like, and so we're like almost fighting over it. And he's like, you have another one? And he's like, yeah, I have another one. So he went in the back and pulled it. And so Rick fronted me the money, and I hit him up later. But the deal was he got to pick the one he wanted. And we both wanted the same one. But we each got one of those packages, which is really cool because they came in a brown package, just like an envelope. And I guess they were inserted into the magazine or the newspaper. So really cool to have those. You don't. That's not something you see every day. But we couldn't believe the guy had another one. We're like, this is perfect.
There were some Warsh tobacco envelopes floating around a few years ago too.
No way.
Yeah,
I have
They're
two of
out-
those sitting over there.
yeah. They
Not
were
the
out of
package,
St.
though.
They were out of St. Paul, so they're pretty common around
Oh,
here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
What does the package look like?
it's just an envelope with the address and everything on it.
So were they a mail-in premium?
Yeah,
I always wondered how they were distributed. I never really looked into it. Well, that makes sense. I didn't because I didn't think they came in a box of cigars, right?
that's right. There's a
But
lot of there's a lot of Millers and St. Paul Saints in the set. That's one of the giveaways. I mean, to where they were.
I have the Jimmy Fox and the Carl Hubble one. I never really looked beyond that.
Yeah.
They're very rare. You don't see
Yeah.
them too often.
I did
And do you know what you had to do to send in for them? Was it like so many cigar wrappers or what?
I think it said on the envelope, but I can't remember.
I'd be curious to find that out.
Yeah, I was at a local card shop. I filmed a local card shop with all his Warsh tobacco cards. He had Gehrig and Lefty Gomez and some of them guys.
He has Gehrig. Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be a great one to have. I think I saw that once years ago. I mean, that's not something you're gonna see too often.
No.
My brother is named after Lou Gehrig, and he's probably the only person you know that's named Lou Gehrig. And
Is that right?
yeah, but Gehrig made this for me in his Woods and Metals class.
That looks really nice.
The frame for graded cards, but I decided to put all my giveaway winnings that I get in here. I got the Billy Martin that I won from Drew and Jerry Rice rookie card that I won from.
That's nice.
Kid.
You must be lucky you win all those.
Yeah. Well, and I haven't done that many. I'm trying to do something.
How long have you been on YouTube now?
A year and maybe 2 months. 1 or 2
Oh, that long?
Yeah. Doesn't feel that long.
You guys seen these around much?
I've never seen those before.
You know what this is?
Is that for the little? Oh no! Is it for like the bats?
See, it says 5 cents on there.
Uh huh.
It's a humidor for cigar box. You slide these on the lid for the cigar box. Then when you want to open it to get a cigar, you go like that.
Really?
Yeah.
What era? What circa is that from?
It's probably teens and 20s when Joe Tinker had tobacco cigars
cool.
and stuff.
And let me. I want to show you guys something. You go ahead and talk. It'll take me 1 minute.
You're in your rocker, Jack.
Yeah, I switched over because my phone was about to die. This thing drains your battery pretty quick.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Here's another Killebrew card.
Ooh,
Chemstrand,
huh?
cloth patch.
I think I might have one of those. Cloth patch.
So I wanted to show you this. You were talking antiques. So you remember the old? They had the old viewfinders.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Like when we were growing up, you put the discs in or whatever. But in the early days, they had the one you look through, and it had like a kind of a wooden thing that came out, and you put it back here, and
Yeah.
you'd look.
Yep.
So this is one of the things for those viewfinders in the early days, and this is Babe Ruth and Tom Mix.
Wow.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're curved, and
Yep.
what stinks about this is you can't really put them in a holder because they're curved.
Yeah, if you flatten them, they might.
But there's two. They're the same image, and I guess I don't know how they appeared in the viewfinder. I'd love to get a hold of the viewfinder, if nothing more, to borrow one to look at it. But I don't know how they appeared.
I've got one of those sitting right here too. Oh, actually, I have two of them, but they're not baseball related. They're World War II, maybe World War One. Looks like.
Oh, those are the same thing
They're
from the same.
I don't.
Yeah,
think
they look like from the same viewfinder.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
back on them. Copyright the Keystone View Company.
Yep.
Yeah, Keystone. Yeah,
Huh.
That's what it says. Keystone Eye Comfort.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the Keystone Eye Comfort and Depth Perception series.
I think these are different series. I don't know anything about these. Oh, so.
Same company though, right? Didn't you say Keystone?
Yep, Keystone.
I wonder if these were out of Pennsylvania, because that's the Keystone State.
Oh yeah. I got something. Where did I put it? Is this it? Oh yeah. The autographed High Pocket Kelly. Yeah, High Pocket Kelly.
That's
Who?
nice.
Who'd you say?
George High Pockets Kelly.
Oh,
It's autographed.
George Kelly. You know what? I was just looking at his card. I
So-
think.
So when I got this, I thought it was George Kell, and then I was reading. I was like, George Kell didn't play in 1915.
That's a
There
Dexter
he is.
Press one too.
This is an autographed Remar Bacon when he was a
Okay.
coach.
Is that autographed too?
Yeah, George Kelly. Did you say Kelly or Kell?
George Kelly.
Yeah.
Is that the year with Billy Martin on the team?
Yeah, here's this guy, Aaron Davis, told me he was the best defensive shortstop in the Negro Leagues. So I had to get his card.
Oh, you know what?
And where's my Billy Martin? I just saw it.
I went up to you. Got a great.
So, hey,
Billy
John,
Martin
someone
has
else
two different
one.
years, right? Oh,
It's the same card. It's a little blurry.
it's the same card?
Yeah, the Oakland Oaks.
Yeah.
Arthur Wilson.
Arthur Wilson. You
Yeah.
have that card?
Yeah, it's a 6.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
I've never seen this card before until you showed it.
Oh, is that right? Did I inspire you to get that?
Oh no! I meant I've never seen anybody else with that card.
Oh. Yeah, here's the Billy Martin.
Well, those are 49.
They were made in, what, 49 and 50,
49.
I believe? Because I never know what box to put them in, my 40s or my 50s. Because then I'd have to split them up.
It's Judy Johnson autograph.
That's
Oh, nice. I don't have a Judy Johnson autograph.
You don't see the Dexter Press Hall of Fame postcards as much as the other regular kind.
Which
No.
one? These are, oh yeah, these are Dexter cards. I've got like a whole bunch of them autographed. They're all in these little cases. I got a Stan Usual,
That's
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Eddie Matthews. Little,
I've heard of those guys. They
Little
were pretty
Chris-
good, I heard.
yeah, they're okay. I think they might be in the Hall of Fame. This
That's
one,
insane.
this
They
one's
were
dropped twice by Waite Hoyt.
Is he Babe Ruth's roommate or biographer or
I don't know.
something? Wade Hoyt.
I think he's like
How about that 52 tops? Who just showed that? Somebody just showed that as a pricey card.
oh
His 56 is a nice card. Now it's 55 Bowman too. I like his 55 Bowman.
I like I think okay, this is an unpopular opinion. But I think that 52 Bowman is 20 times better than 53 Bowman.
52 Bowman is 20 times better.
Yes, than 53.
I'll tell you what. I will put. The 52 is phenomenal. I love that set. However, there's a few cards where the 53 is just so much nicer. Like the 53 Mantle
Okay.
to me is so much nicer than the 52 where he's like this.
I
I
think
love the 53 Bowman Mantle. I love it. It's one of my favorite mantles.
I think I'm going for 52.
A lot of people love the 52.
I'm trying to complete the whole set. I'm about halfway.
I mean, yeah, the 51 Bowman mantle is, one of the prettiest mantles ever made. It's a great card. I'm
John,
not a big fan of the 52.
I saw you have the 67 mantle on Splendid Sports Cards.
Yeah, I have it right in front of me.
Yeah.
First one I ever got. Well, the second one I ever got because I traded away the first one.
I picked up an O-Pee-Chee,
Oh, nice.
the KSA slab.
Very nice. I always have this one handy because the Dandy.
Yeah,
I
those
love
are
that's
nice.
that's like one of my favorites.
Duke Snyder's is nice in that set too.
Oh, there's so many nice cards. I got the Bob Feller. That's a tough one. I got that recently. Love that Bob Feller. I love the 53 Bob Feller too. 53 tops. 53 Al Rosen for some reason. What's that?
So much to choose from.
I love them all, man.
Yeah.
But you can't, I can't have them all. So I would start with the ones I really liked. And that's why I never ended up with the 52 Bowman mantle because I just never liked it. I have just about every other mantle other than the rookies and stuff. But
I'll walk into a card shop and I won't be looking at the normal cards at all, and I'll come across something like this. And that's something that really catches my eye.
What is that?
31 Cubs team issue.
Oh, yeah? Who is it?
Thomas Wagner.
It is?
Rogers Hornsby, I mean.
Oh, nice. I love me some Rogers Hornsby, man. I love to collect his cards.
And I've got the Hack Wilson, too.
Oh, he's another one of my favorites. I have this press photo here. And it's a type 1. And of course that's I think the picture they used to make that.
Oh yeah.
That looks like it.
Yeah.
Looks like a match.
It's slightly off. Just his bat's a little lower in the card, but everything else is identical.
Hey Scott.
So I think they took a little liberty, but
okay.
Have you ever seen this before?
Yes, I've had those before.
Really?
Yeah, there's two versions. There's a Minneapolis version for American Association, and there's a PCL version.
This is the American Association one.
Yeah, they're
Who was
not.
that?
There's not a lot around.
Yeah, we got this at uh, a show, and the guy that was selling it to us had no idea what it was.
Yeah,
It's from like '58, so
they're from '48.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we had no idea what it was either, so we just thought it was cool. They gave them out at St. Paul Saint games, right?
Yeah, Millers or Saints or both.
Yeah.
And then the next year, I think they did the PCL.
Is it the same picture?
Same picture, but I think it might be blank on the back where it says American Association. Here's a photo that I like. Robert Mitchum and Satchel
Robert
Paige.
Mitchum.
And Satchel Paige.
What are they doing together?
They're in a movie.
Robert. Oh, the actor.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of who was I thinking? Oh, James Michener, the author.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. What was the movie?
It's The Wonderful Country.
Really, I didn't know that.
I never.
Normally, when a baseball player is in a movie, he's like playing himself, right?
Yeah. Here he's a cavalry soldier.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I did not know Satchel Paige acted.
I've got some
Mega.
from the Babe Ruth story movie.
Yeah. What was his name? William Benedict or something?
I don't remember. Wasn't it a movie? It was
William Bendix.
Bendix.
Yeah. Here's my other Satchel Paige photo.
Was he a good actor?
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. I'd like to see it sometime.
He probably was. He had he had a personality.
Yeah.
Draw in the crowds. He was very highly paid for his day.
Yeah. He actually
they'd come to see him.
He pitched in North Dakota for Bismarck 1935, and they won the national semi-pro championship. It was a mixed team. Double duty Radcliffe was also on the team, and a couple other guys. Quincy Troop.
Quincy Troop.
Yeah.
Did you ever see my Quincy Troop card?
No.
It's the only one PSA ever graded. I
Is
got
that a
double
Cuban
duty
card?
What's that?
Is it a Cuban card?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So you know his claim to fame when he came up to the majors? You know, he played a very short stint in '52. And played for Cleveland, and when he caught for Sam Jones, they became the first black battery in American League history.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But I also have a newspaper article.
And he's from down here in South Carolina. He's from Beaufort.
Okay. I have a newspaper article where Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson played in my hometown on the same ball diamond I played Little League, Babe Ruth. And it talks about Josh Gibson said he's going to hit one over the fence. And he hit one over the fence, and there's a river behind it, and hit it over the river too.
Wow.
Really? When they were in Little League?
No, when they were barnstorming, they played in my hometown.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So that's a newspaper clipping that goes in my book that I'm saving with all that stuff in it.
Well, I got a hold of some old newspapers from Puerto Rico clippings, and a kid I ran around with back home, his uncle was Bus Clarkson, who played in the Negro Leagues, and it's of him, and he's in street clothes watching the game with a hat on, and I had the caption translated, and it says that he had to watch the game from the stands because he had gotten into a fight with the umpire the game before and got suspended.
I looked up on the internet to see if Satchel Paige ever pitched against Willie Mays.
Yeah.
And I guess he did once in the Negro Leagues. I guess Willie got a double, and Satchel said something real smart to him, like that's not going to happen again. Next time up, 3 pitches and he struck him out.
Oh, so did you guys watch the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, what an ending, huh?
Yeah, wow, that was.
Did you see the Tops Now card they came out with?
No, I didn't.
I think you could still buy it. It's Ohtani striking out Trout. It's a cool looking card. I had to get one. I'm a huge Ohtani fan.
Well, I like Ohtani, but
I'm a Trout fan too. But
there couldn't have been a more perfect ending, unless
Trout hit one.
But I mean, what are the chances of it's Ohtani versus Trout to end the game?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it is. It's like out of a movie. It's just a perfect ending.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been any more perfect.
I mean, well, for us Americans, I mean, it might have been a better ending if Trout hit the home run.
Yeah.
But I'm an Ohtani fan, and I'm a Trout fan too. But I can't root against either of them.
Yeah. Did you watch the USA Venezuela?
I didn't. That last game was really the only one that I caught for any length of time.
I only watched 2 of them, and it was Daniel Bard came up to pitch, and he couldn't throw a strike. He had the yips from like 2019, and then he came back, and I guess he got him again because he walked 4 batters, and then he threw it, and it broke Altuve's thumb, and it was terrible. We had the lead and blew it.
It happens. There's something about, the theater of sports when somebody does something great. Like I remember Carly Lloyd playing soccer, and one day when she scored 4 goals, and I'm watching her, she was just in the zone. And when you watch people perform at that level, when they're in the zone, I just did a tribute to Willis Reed, a guy like that. When he came out in the 1970 playoff game and he was hurt and nobody knew if he was going to play Game 7 and the crowd's going nuts. I mean, when you watch that, it was like right out of a movie.
Yeah.
And that's what you live for, to watch those moments. That's why Ohtani versus Trout, that's just one of those moments. Whoever wins,
Yeah.
And Ohtani, man, those first 2 went by him like, I mean, like he was Chapman. It was like right out of Major League, right? Charlie Sheen, the way those first 2 balls went by him.
Did you know that Mike Trout has struck out more times than Babe Ruth?
Well, so did Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
So did Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in good company.
But you always hear about how many times Babe Ruth struck out, and he actually is a pretty good hitter.
Yeah.
Well, an incredible hitter. What was he, 342 lifetime?
Yeah.
342 lifetime. And he retired the all-time strikeout king. And he was surpassed by Mr. Mantle by a long shot. But now Mantle's down on the list. He's something like 13th, I think, now. There are a lot of people that passed him. And it's Reggie Jackson still, right? That's the all-time leader. I mean, it's always going to be home run hitters. It's always going to be home run hitters who strike out the most, right? They're swinging for the fences. It's not going to be a guy like Ichiro or Rod Carew
or Tony Gwynn, who never struck out.
Yeah. How about Joe DiMaggio? I mean, 1 year, what was it? He struck out 13 times the whole season or something. I mean, just I'm not sure if that's the number, but it was very low. I forget now, maybe 14. He struck out very infrequently, and there were a few players like that.
Joe Sewell is one of them guys.
Yeah, Joe Sewell, and wasn't it Johnny Mize who had more home runs and strikeouts one year? I know Joe DiMaggio did that a lot, but Johnny Mize for a big, power hitter, home run hitter.
Joe
Mhm.
Tulo only has like 100 some strikeouts, right? Like in his whole career.
That's insane. Some guys just always put the bat on the ball.
Yeah. Reggie struck out 2,500 times.
He's number one still, right?
Yep.
I did not know Mike Trout passed Mickey Mantle already, though, or Babe
No,
Ruth already.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And he hasn't played that much either the last 5-6 years, but he's been hurt a lot.
Well, it's a little bit of a different game. I mean, the day of somebody batting 356, that's not, you're not gonna see too many people batting 356 anymore.
Right.
What are these the best players are like in the 270s, 280s? I mean, every once in a while, a guy will bat well into the 300s, win a batting title or something, but you don't see a lot of people doing it. A lot of players doing it.
Right.
And then my man Sterling Marte, man, he got ripped off. What was it, 2 years ago? When he was leading the National League for the batting title, and they traded him to the American League.
What did he finish batting that year?
I don't know, but he was ineligible for the National League batting title.
Um,
I thought that was a shame because he was he's leading at the time, I believe, right there.
Wonder if anybody's ever led the league after getting traded in anything.
I don't know, but it's almost silly to have league leaders with inter-league play.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly if you think about it. I mean, it's tradition, but you're not just playing in your league.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
So this card.
That's like with and I don't want to take anything away. He had a magical season. But, I got into this debate with somebody because Aaron Judge, he's the American League single season home run record leader, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But he played in interleague.
Yep. It's my favorite autograph.
Who?
Roger Maris.
Oh, nice. I don't have
Yeah.
his autograph anywhere.
That's from his museum dedication banquet.
Yeah, I mean he will forever, he's forever etched in baseball history. And his
Yeah.
stuff always I thought, I mean his stuff obviously carries a premium because of what he did in 1961. Because he wasn't overall one of the greatest players ever, but his cards sell like he was,
Yeah. He's hurt a lot after that. 61
Yeah, I mean, a
season.
good player. I'm not taking
Yeah.
anything away from him, but that 61 season, like he is etched in baseball history. And for me, like, I collect those kinds of guys. I want to collect the guys that meant something, had one phenomenal year, like Mark Fidrich. Like, I like collect Mark Fidrich, Fernando Valenzuela. Like, to me, they didn't have to play for 30 years for me to, collect them and have them like leave their mark on the game. You know what I mean?
Right. Maris was on his way to a football scholarship at Oklahoma, and he turned around and came back to play baseball.
Is that right?
Yeah. I
Where's
think he
he
still
from?
has. He's from Fargo. That's
Yeah.
where he.
Oh, he is from Fargo.
He was
Wow,
born.
I didn't know.
He was born in Hibbing, Minnesota. Moved to Grand Forks, then moved to Fargo.
Oh, okay.
So he came back a few times for his golf tournament, and then for the banquet for his museum. And he signed a lot of autographs when he'd come back. But
There was only one Major League Baseball from my hometown ever in the history of the game. Now, I had guys close, like Stan Musial and Ken Griffey Jr., grew up right down the road. Joe Montana grew up right down the road. But only one came out of my specific town. Well, I kind of lived in two different towns because I lived right outside of a place called Youngwood, where George Blanda's from. And that's really where I lived. But I had a Greensburg address. And so there's one player came out of Greensburg, and it was an old-time player. His name was Doc Gessler. And he has a Ramley card. He has a Cracker Jack card.
Oh,
And I know he has a Sporting Life card. I have, I think, 2 of his cards. But I was trying to get the Ramley, but I missed out on it.
It's George Blanda, that Fleer wallet card again.
Oh, nice. Yeah, George Bland. I used to hang out with his brother and play golf with him, and he knew all these athletes, and he's the one that introduced me to Bill Mazeroski. We used to go to happy hour and stuff, and he was a hoot. He was fun to hang out with. He was an all-pro linebacker at Pitt, and he was supposed to have been the better athlete, but he blew his knee out in college, so he never moved on. But he was friends with Evel Knievel, Pete Rose, Kenny Stabler, Bill Mazeroski. He knew all these famous athletes, so it was cool to hang out with him.
Yeah, the good thing with Maris coming from Fargo, when he started his golf tournament, he'd bring guys in like Mantle and Ford, and
Yeah,
people would swarm the golf course trying to get autographs.
yeah.
And then they still have the golf tournament today. And just a couple of years ago, I met Johnny Bench he came walking through a card show that we're at there. He was part of the golf tournament.
Yeah.
Pretty nice guy.
How did you get a good look at his hands, the size of his hands?
Yeah,
They're
I
like
asked him
enormous,
about
right?
how many baseballs can you still put in there?
Imagine how many golf balls he could put in.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
Didn't he hold 5 baseballs in his hand?
7.
Wasn't it
I
5?
thought it was 7.
Yeah. 7.
Oh, 7?
Yeah.
How the hell do you do that? 7. He was great to watch. Johnny Bench, he was a household name when I was little, man. Johnny Bench.
You know, I actually I watched something about Johnny Bench. I watched a documentary on him, and he was talking about, I think he was in high school. He was on the bus to go to school or something, and the bus got in a crash, and the back door opened, and like a ton of kids started flying out through the back, and like a bunch of them died, and he almost died in high
No
school.
way. Holy cow, never heard that story. Yeah, Johnny Bench, he was one of those guys. He was such a household name that if you never watched a game of baseball in your life, you knew who Johnny Bench was.
No runs, no drips, no errors.
Yeah, he used to sit on that bench. What was he? He had another sponsorship. Was it like True Value? I want to say a hardware store or something.
Kids' shoes.
I don't remember Ked's shoes. I remember the bench in the Krylon. It was Krylon, right?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think it was
you
Krylon.
showed that box today with Willis Reed and Johnny Bench on.
Yeah. Yeah. The box of Keds. Yeah. That's a unique item. Those cards are this big. I'll show it in case anybody didn't see it. I don't know who kept the shoebox all these years, but
Not very many people, I'm sure. I would have cut the cards off.
How about my Dave Parker, the Cobra Cup?
That's nice.
I never ever saw one of these growing up. I had to grab it. It's a Slurpee.
I've got a question for you guys. So is this a test card? It's the 71, and it's got the blank back. So I've got a couple of these, but this is the cool one because it's Sparky Anderson. But it's just got a blank back, so I thought.
Is it the same? Is it the same stock?
Yeah, it is. It's not like a.
I would say it's just a printing error.
Oh, okay.
I I know from when I collected when I was young, 1978 and 79 and was it 80, 89, I believe. Those 3 years, I noticed I found a lot that were blank backs. Those are the 3 years I really stand out to me as being that. You don't see them too often in the old vintage cars. And I don't know how that happens because I don't know anything about printing presses. But my guess is that's a printing error where the front printed and the back didn't. And I don't know if it's because they ran out of ink or when they did the backs or I don't know why.
Yeah.
But they're somewhat common as far as you'll find them. But some people would collect that and attach a premium to it.
I was going to show you that before when we're talking about the golf tournament. Those are the bag tags from the golf tournament.
Oh.
Each
Oh,
year
nice.
they had a new one, different color.
That's up in Fargo.
Yeah.
This one's pretty cool. So I had this in the wrong spot in my binder for a long time because on the back, William Sharp.
It's what?
Wrong back.
Oh, wrong back.
Yeah. And it's perfectly centered too.
Yeah, I don't know how those things happen. I don't know enough about the printing process at Topps, but you see that so often where it's a different player on the back.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. I don't know. Those are the little nuances that are kind of cool to collect.
Yeah.
Especially when you get it graded, they'll note it on the label.
Oh, yeah. I've got one of those somewhere.
Here you go. Here you go, Jack. Rod Crew.
Oh, yeah. What was that?
It's a flat. It's supposed to be an RC Cola can like that.
Oh.
I have the Al Oliver like that. I had to get the Mark Fidrich. The bird.
He was fun to watch.
Al Oliver. I got a whole bunch. I don't have that many, though. I did as a kid, and I don't know what the heck ever happened to them. And I don't think my mom would have thrown them away because she knew I was a collector and I saved everything. So I don't know whatever happened to them, but I was a little sad when I got older and realized that I didn't have them anymore. So I picked up some of the ones I like. I have Dave Parker, Joe Green, Walter Payton, and Dr. J up there.
This is a Canada Dry Pete Rose.
That's nice.
Got this in a bunch of Pete Rose stuff.
I never even saw that one.
I don't.
Oh, how about this
I think
Pete Rose, if I could find it?
I think the 76ers had those cans too, Jack.
Really?
Yeah.
Here's the 7-Eleven, the old 7-Eleven cups.
I've got a.
You ever see these?
I've never seen those before.
Here's the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Oh yeah.
Is that Milwaukee or Lakers?
This would have been Milwaukee. Yeah.
Okay.
And Clemente.
Oh.
I got a whole stack of them over there.
Here's another
O.J. Simpson.
Minnesota tie. Let's see. George Mikan glass.
Oh yeah.
George Mikan, nice.
And that's the same pose as the rookie card 1948 Bowman. That was
George
used a lot.
Mikan, man, he was a beast.
Have you seen these cups before? Oh, it's
Yeah.
Which one?
Let me
Oh
flip it.
yeah. Let me see. I don't know if these are the same or not. There's a bunch of there's like Fernando Valenzuela. 7-Eleven had a lot of cups over the years, and there were other. I have a few different kinds. I've definitely seen those. Which ones are those?
These are the Netics. I don't think I've ever heard of these before.
Are they different teams?
No, they're all New York Mets. I just dropped it.
Are those the only ones they made, or those are just the ones you have?
I'm not too sure. I haven't done too much.
Hold on, I think I have one from that set. They look familiar.
While we're waiting, get the Monty Irvin 55.
Nice card. You know he played for Minneapolis, don't you?
Yeah, there's a lot of great players.
Yeah. Ted Williams,
Yeah. No, that's not.
Yastrzemski.
Got Reggie Jackson.
Rube Waddell played for the Millers.
Yeah. Roy Campanella played for the Saints.
Really?
Duke
Nolan
Snyder.
Ryan. So those are 7-Elevens too. I have some that are like that, I thought. Maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining things. Dusty Baker.
Iverson still has Penguin cards.
George Brett.
They might
The
get
man who could
Nice.
the man who could hit but couldn't sit. Because he had hemorrhoids that year. George Foster.
Actually have a store model of his pine tar bat.
Do you?
Yeah.
Rick Kehoe. Any Penguin fans out there? Rick Kehoe.
Oh, I don't follow hockey at all.
This Reggie Jackson's awesome.
Sandy Koufax.
Oh, that's cool.
Volpe glass.
What's that from?
Volpe, it's from the 60s.
Oh, I never saw that.
You could order them out of the programs.
I'm a big Koufax fan. I'm making a mess.
Scott, are you a NDSU fan or a SDSU or?
Yeah, I'm an alumni, season ticket holder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not the Gophers?
No.
You guys know
There
about
we
the
go.
93 Tops McDonald's glasses?
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen those before.
I see them around. I haven't seen Clemente.
Yeah, what did they sell them? Give them away in 1993 during the first real baseball card boom. When baseball cards, hitting their peak. I have the complete set, but I got an extra Clemente so I could drink out of it.
I've seen the Ryan
in my card room. I think I've only drank out of it once though. I still can't bring myself to drink. The what?
There's a Nolan Ryan glass too, and a Gehrig.
Yeah, there's a Brooks Robinson. I can't remember them all. I think the Gehrig is the 61, right? 61 turn back. What's it called? What are those cards called? Yeah, whatever.
All-time records or something.
It's getting late. Yeah, they have the Ruth and the Gehrig. I think that's the card used on the glass, right? And then it's the 61. I think it's a 61 Brooks Robinson. And I'm trying to think what year the Nolan Ryan is. Is it 70? Or 69?
Yeah, I
think it's 69 or 70. Yeah. I have them stored away. I haven't looked at them in a long time, so I forget them all. What are you showing?
Denny McLean.
Oh, Denny McLean.
They're like the little posters.
Tell me something about Denny McLean.
Oh, he was he had a lot of wins one season, right?
Yeah.
He had a lot of wins one season.
I remember my dad told me about this. Denny McLean. He was really low ERA. What was it? It was he had one really, really good season. And then he had like some legal issues, right?
He had actually back-to-back Cy Youngs and
oh yeah. And so I
And
knew
then
it
it
was
was downhill.
He was a good pitcher. His 68 tops just stands out in my mind as one of the classic baseball cards of all time. That was the year he had he won 30 games, right? 68.
31, yeah.
Is that the year though? 68. Do I have that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, he there's a Joe
So
Pepitone tie-in for his 31st win too. He grew Mantle was coming to bat for his last time in Detroit. Danny McLean was a big Mantle fan. So he told Mantle he's going to groove him a home run pitch. And Mantle was showing him where to throw the pitch. Pepitone's in the on deck circle. So McLean throws the home run pitch. Mantle trots around the bases and Pepitone comes up. He starts showing McLean where he wants the pitch. McLean knocks him down.
yeah, so Jack in 68, he was the last guy to win 30 games.
Oh, okay.
Who was the last guy to win 40 games?
Last one to win 40 games. Give me a year frame. Give me a 50s, 40s.
Well, I'll give you a hint. Scott, correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't he have the lowest ERA of all time?
Not sure.
That would be Ed Walsh then.
Big Ed Walsh, you are correct. Who has the second lowest ERA of all time?
That would be Rube Waddell. Would it?
No.
Oh.
I mistakenly said that on my video. That's probably why you think that.
Oh.
I mistakenly said it on my video, and I probably, I'm a bad influence. It's Addie Joss, isn't it?
Addie Joss.
I believe. I did make that mistake on my video. Rube Waddell was just an incredible pitcher. Total whack job, but a great pitcher.
Yep.
So Jack, Danny McLean was at a recent Maplewood show.
He was?
Yeah.
Which one's the Maplewoods?
Maplewood Mall show.
Oh, that's the one with like the 2 stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
He what? I like that show. That's one of my favorite shows.
That's next weekend too.
Oh. Well, I don't know because on Saturday I'm going over to Franklin, Minnesota with my dad. And we got a fat stack of cash, and we're gonna go buy old man's collection that recently passed away, and it's his wife, and he's got all these. She's got all these cards for him, so she's trying to sell them. So we'll see how much money we have after that.
Hey, don't forget to give Scott and I a look first before you go selling those things off.
Okay. Yeah. You do that for me for the Fatima.
You want to trade for the Fatima?
Oh yeah. What do you think? It's a Ed Walsh pin.
Is it the yeah, I love that. I think I have it.
Wait, okay. How do you say is sweet
I pronounce it Sweet Capital, but I don't know for sure because I'm not old enough to have ever heard the term when they were in business. But I pronounce it Sweet Capital. I've heard people say Caporal, which doesn't sound right to my ear. But then I always thought the colors were sepia, and it's pronounced sepia, and sepia hits my ear wrong too. I think sepia sounds so much better.
It's like, oh, now I'm stuck. Is this Clark Griffith or Calvin Griffith?
Clark.
Yeah, I'm not even sure this is pronounced Fatima. I mean, that's how I pronounce it.
That's how you say it. Because
Our Lady of Fatima.
Yeah.
But I worked with a girl, and her name was Fatima.
Oh.
So could it be pronounced Fatima? Like, I don't know. I wasn't alive then.
That's how I've always heard it. Fatima.
Oh, Fatima? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It could be pronounced that way. I don't know.
Could be a regional thing.
Yeah, I mean, all we have to go by, unless somebody can get an old radio ad or something, is what you hear people how they say it. Like when I was growing up, I called Bowman Bauman. All my friends, everybody I knew called Bowman Bauman, And when I first started doing YouTube videos, I'd be like 1955 Bauman, and everybody's like, "Why you call it Bauman?" But I called it Bauman all my life until I got onto YouTube. Honestly, once I got on YouTube, everybody was pronouncing it Bowman, so I changed my pronunciation.
Regional baseball players too. A lot of people pronounce them differently than how they
Yeah,
actually are pronounced.
like Veda Pinson. Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're growing up, you don't know. You call him Vada or Larry Heisel, right? How's it pronounced? Heil or wait,
Heisel.
Heisel. Yeah, but we used to call him Hissel or something. I mean,
Yeah,
we didn't know how to pronounce his name.
till I heard it, like we called him Hissel till I heard his name
Yeah,
on the radio.
yeah, and I don't remember. Like I knew him growing up. I think just from cards, but I don't remember watching games where he played. There were just some players like I watched a lot of baseball growing up. I would sit in front of the TV and by myself and watch baseball. I remember there was always a Saturday game, and I would watch baseball anytime it was on. But there were just some players I just never got to see. Like they just weren't on my TV, right? We had 3 channels, and you got to watch what was on. You didn't have a choice. And so, like Brooks Robinson and Carl Yastrzemski are 2 of those players that they were playing at the time I was watching baseball, but I don't remember, getting a chance to watch them play. Carl Yastrzemski a little bit. I did see him a little bit, but I don't even remember watching Brooks Robinson play. And he was certainly playing at that time. But like the first time I remember watching the Orioles was when we played them in the World Series in '79, and Brooks was gone by then. Doug DeCinces was their third baseman then. So it's kind of sad. I get sad a little bit because I missed out on some of these great players just by a few years. Even Clemente, I was such a little baby when he was playing. My dad says that he used to sit me on his lap while we'd watch him, and he says he used to tell me to pay attention because this is one of the greatest baseball players you ever see.
Yeah. So you missed this. So you missed the '71 Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, I was a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first World Series I remember watching as a little kid, like the first one I actually remember, and I remember vividly watching Louis Tiant in the '75 World Series. That's the first World Series I remember watching.
Speaking of
the Big Red Messi.
Speaking of Yastrzemski, he kicked the Twins out of the '67 World Series. Basically, Twins were up a game going into the 2-game series with the Red Sox, and the Red Sox swept. Yastrzemski went 8 for 8.
I'll tell you what, Yastrzemski was a great player.
Yeah.
I mean, even though everybody collects them, everybody, they like his cards. A lot of his cards, I think, are just so super undervalued. I mean, he was an exceptional player. When you watch old film on him, I mean, he was always like tearing it up. And every game I ever watched on YouTube and stuff of old games, he was insane. He was a pretty good outfielder too. For not being the fastest guy or whatever. He was a good
played
fielder.
the wall. He played the Green Monster really well.
Yeah, but when you watch him hit, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Check this out.
And I understand why the Boston, people are so, love him so much. Just like, people that grew up in Pittsburgh in my era love Willie Stargell. And he was a guy that when you watched him, he was bigger than maybe his stats or his legacy. If you watched him, it's different. And that's how I feel about Yaz. If you watched him, why aren't his cards worth more?
Yeah.
Who signed that ticket? Was that Mrs. Babe Ruth?
Yeah.
What ticket is it? Yankees?
Yep. Yankees 1969, August 6th. Full ticket.
Wow. I want to get an autograph from Mr. Babe Ruth.
Who doesn't?
There's Roger Maris's first game back at Yankee Stadium.
Oh,
1978. Him and Mickey in the golf cart.
Now, I don't think any of you have seen this before. I believe this is from 1939. I could be mistaken.
Is it a score?
Yeah, it is.
I've seen the Babe Ruth, but not that one.
Looks like it kind of looks like Ted Williams, but I'm sure it's not.
The back of it looks like the Babe Ruth one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Do you think people actually use that score?
No.
It seems like a pain in the neck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I was trying to move it around and I couldn't.
Yeah, it's cool as a collector to have it intact like that. Because I had one of these pins as a kid and didn't have that in it, and I don't know. I traded it or sold it or something. Because I always wanted to focus on cards, and I couldn't always have everything. So I would trade things that weren't cards. I remember at one point I decided I just had to focus on cards because that's my number one love. And so
there's a message from Concrete Buddy. I think, did Cott pitch like one game and then come back like a couple games later, a couple games sooner than he should have? Maybe he got hurt then.
I don't understand what you're.
I'm reading the one from the chat. 1967, didn't Cott get hurt in the last game of the season?
Oh, I don't know.
I think he started that game. I don't know for sure.
Kitty Cott.
Now, what did Jim Cott do that no other player in history did? You know this one, Jack?
He was a good hitting pitcher, so was it something along the lines of that?
No, but you're right. And the 74, his 74 Topps card, or 73 Topps card's really cool for that reason because he's batting.
What did
have you ever seen the 73 card?
I don't think I have.
Check it out. It's unique because in the old days it was common, to find Walter Johnson batting. Like I have, I think 3 different cards of him batting, at least 2. But in the modern era, it's not that common, right? But Jim Cott is batting in a 73, and it's a really cool card.
All right, let me think.
But no, that's not it. He's the only player to play in 4 decades.
Oh,
okay.
Didn't
he was he came up, I guess, late in 59. His rookie card is in 60, but he played a little bit in 59, and then he played in the 80s up until the 80s.
He did play, or was it Orlando Cepeda that played in 5, didn't he? But it was kind of like
Minnie Minoso, you mean?
Oh, Minnie Minoso, yeah. And he came.
He came to bat in 75.
So kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But
he was 52 or 53? I think he was 53. And he had like 1 at bat, right?
Yeah.
He pinch hit or something. He was a coach, and they let him hit. And he's immortalized on his 1977 record breaker card.
Yeah, the only.
But I don't know if you can really count that. Can you? 1 game in the decade of the 70s? I don't know.
He did a Moonlight Graham type thing in the 70s.
Well, wait a minute. He played in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s.
Did he play in the 40s?
Yeah, he played in the Negro Leagues in the 40s. He has a 46, 47 Cuban card. It's a fantastic card. So, but he didn't play in the pros for 4 decades. I mean, he played in the pro. He didn't play in the major leagues.
He batted in the 80s again. He went into the 80s.
Oh, okay.
He had an at bat in the 80s. I'm pretty sure.
Minnie Minoso.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I think so. I'm pretty sure he had
77, 76.
Are you sure? I think he had an at bat in the 80s too.
Man, he would have been 60.
I know. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get logged out early.
Well, even being 53 was amazing.
Yeah. Well, didn't Satchel Paige come in for him? I mean, when he was 60 or 60. I mean, nobody really knew his age.
Well, nobody knows Satchel Paige's real age.
Yeah.
I think he was 63 when he came into the majors. Nobody knows his real age.
Have you heard the story about Manute?
It was always rumored that he was older than you thought he was, or than he said he was.
Have you heard the story about Manute Bull?
What story?
Okay, so
I watched him play.
nobody knew his name, or nobody knew his age. Really knew his age because he lost all of his birth records in like the jungle or something. But he told his teammates that every 10 years, he cuts a mark into his arm, and he had 5 marks on his arm.
And he did that for what reason?
I don't know, but he had 5 scars on his arm.
But are you sure that's why? Because I mean, I've been to Africa several times, and they have tribal markings.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure that he cut himself, or?
I mean, I think that's how the story went. I mean, it could be different, but
It could be rumor. I don't know, because a lot of people, like in Cotonou, Benin, I know, have facial tribal markings. That's very common in certain parts of Africa.
Wanted to show this to Jack.
oh wow! Oh, I saw one of those. I should have bought it.
65 World Series ashtray from Red Wing Pottery.
That's so cool.
Hey, by the way, is Manute Bull the tallest? Is he the tallest guy in the world who can't dunk? Couldn't dunk? I think so. He could almost touch the rim.
He could probably dunk standing up. Just stand up.
He was so skinny. I remember they showed him like bench pressing one time, and he was like doing the bar. He was so skinny and lanky.
I mean, he could probably go like this. His arm would pop out.
Well, in his defense, he had to push that weight like 4 times as far as you and I do. His arms were so, he was so tall, just tall and lanky.
Scott, do you have the 65 program?
I don't have one right now. No.
It's such a nice program.
Yeah. Which one? The Dodgers or the Twins version?
The Dodgers one.
Okay.
I got it up there with all my other Twins World Series. Can't really see it, but.
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to call it a night. I had a long day.
All right, well, yeah. Those tickets.
Yeah.
Jack, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Mangini.
Nice talking with you, John.
Thanks for you too, Scott, and Jack. Thanks for letting me invite myself.
One more. Pittsburgh versus Minnesota.
Oh, nice.
1933. They were both good back then.
Wait, Pittsburgh versus Minnesota in what?
College football.
Oh. I'm drawing a blank, and I can't see on this little screen, man. We keep switching sports.
All right, well,
Yeah.
I gotta go to bed.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jack.
Thanks for joining
Thanks,
us.
John.
Great hanging
See you
out with you
again.
guys. We'll do it again.
See you at the National, guys.
See ya.